What is going on, man? Why am I so shit? Here I am. Alright, here we go. Andrew Tate, fucking ayahuasca. I don't want to be nitpicky, yeah, but it's not ayahuasca. I don't know if you're doing that on purpose, bruv. But this is what makes your fucking take on psychedelics seem very arrogant. And I'm not gonna lie, right? When it gets to Andrew Tate, I am sound with Andrew Tate's, like, he is definitely shock value, yeah, and I never really looked into his Hustlers University in terms, I'm never invested in it. I should probably fucking do that maybe, because the way he proposes it is obviously, it's the bollocks, and I'm gonna either purchase it and find out it's the bollocks, or I'm not. Whatever. Look, listen, Andrew, I will listen to you for money advice, because, as you say, I'm a brokey. I'm aware of this. I am actually extremely broke, and I have been literally at the end of money at the end of the month, every month for the past since Christmas. So we're now in late August. At the end of each month, I've been on my last notes, really, and sometimes literally my last pounds. So at the end of the day, you're right, I am a brokey, so I will listen to you for the most part when it comes to taking advice to stop being a fucking brokey, because at the end of the day, you got to assume that everyone knows something that you don't. So if you're sat there with 250 million or whatever the fuck you claim to have, then I'm gonna probably fucking listen to you, because you've mastered an area of your life that I have the desire to fulfill. So we can learn from each other, and this is where you can use that paradigm to learn from me. Don't be so arrogant, mate. So let's have a look on Andrew Tate on ayahuasca. So look, I respect you, bro. I respect you a lot, because I just respect the hustle in terms of, I love people. Something very powerful that Andrew said is, how much can you make a ripple through space-time, basically. And this is what I'm trying to do here, and this is what is powerful about actualize.org, and this is what is so inspiring, is this guy took over so fucking quickly. Everybody knows this. All of my mates here, literally everybody my age, knows who Andrew Tate is. Even my stepmom, my stepsister, my stepbrother, every one of my mates here, I met him. At some point, I said, do you know who Andrew Tate is? Because my best mate proposed him to me originally, and originally I thought he was arrogant, and I thought he didn't have any depth. So immediately I thought, I'll look at his take on psychedelics, because obviously that's where I specialise in, and I thought, what a load of shit, which we'll react to in a second. But I decided to look into a lot of his podcasts, and I highly recommend you check out the, I believe it's the CEO podcast. I'll leave it linked in the description regardless, and I super recommend you check it out, because there's a lot of important shit in there, and I think it is good for people to get a grasp on Andrew Tate. Not that you particularly have a choice, it seems, because it seems this guy just took over the world. So yeah, literally everybody that I fucking ask my age just knows who he is immediately. And yeah, now he's like the most searched geezer ever. And when I was initially listening to his podcast, yeah, throughout the day when I was at work doing the bins, I used to be a bin man. That's what's funny, because he's talking about being a brokey while I'm a bin man, and I'm like, that's when I'm tuned into how shit it is, because that job is so dead. Don't be a bin man, bro. There's no even interview. You literally just walk in and immediately get a job. There's literally crackheads there. There's one geezer who literally eats out of the food bins, bro. There's a video of him eating out of the food bins. There's no interview. You literally, I mean, it's good. That job is fucking awful, mate. It's everyone there is literally ill as fuck. That's what I was saying about the mass psychosis. Everyone is literally just poorly, and everyone immediately fucking cracks out a cigar and a fucking energy drink. Like, you just know it. I see a human being and I'm like, I'm just waiting for it. Well, but which is fine. I don't embody this madness. But anyway, I'm going off on Ron. I'm not better than anyone, that's not what I'm saying, but I find it bizarre that everyone, literally, the 99% of the population willingly consumes poison and shit. I mean, I'm drinking this fucking plastic shit, so you know. Anyway, yeah, so I looked deeper into Andrew Tate, and this chair is so fucking squeaky, man. What a load of shit. This is literally a children's gaming chair, and this is why I'm a brokey, because why do I have this fucking piece of shit chair? It's so dead. Oh. Alright. So let's listen to Andrew Tate's on ayahuasca. But yeah, I found out that actually he's very... You should most likely listen to him a little bit, at least. What was I going to link in the description, for fuck's sake? Oh. Fuck's sake, man. Right, I can't answer this right now. I'm sorry. I'll answer you in a minute. Okay, so, what have we got? Andrew Tate on ayahuasca. Let's just watch this. No more bullshit. And when I heard this, it was kind of hurting my ego. And I don't have an ego to defend, right? So I will try and understand. And I don't know how long this conversation is gonna be, but bro, what the fuck? I literally put my joint down, and the grade just fell out of the end. Well, that's enough of that anyway. All right. So let's have a look at Cobra Tate, fucking cigarette smoking, alcohol consuming, poison, fucking. However, he's got bare peas and whatever, so that is why I will listen to you, because I'm not thick, in a sense. But your take on psychedelics, I believe, you could potentially use a retake. So let's listen. I'll be open-minded. Let's just look at this with a fresh pair of eyes, and let's see what he's got to say. And I'll try and not be long about it, but let's just see what Top G Andrew Tate has got to say about ayahuasca.
People also ask me about that ayahuasca shit. What about ayahuasca? You go down to South America and see the spirit world. There is no spirit world. One.
There is no spirit world. One. Andrew Tate, there's no spirit world. Okay, sure. I understand, there isn't really a spirit world. I understand, but the thing is, you can basically create your own reality. But I don't want to be nitpicky here. So, sure, there's no spirit world, fuck it. Most people ain't really got a spirit world, but there is a spirit world to be experienced, whether or not it's delusion. And it is very real, like, don't get me wrong, mate, ayahuasca is the spirit world. So, if you want to say it's not real, or what, but anyway.
Two, I don't want to go to South America. I've been all around the world. I've been to South America for work. It's a shithole. And people are like, oh yeah, but you know it's not a shithole because of the real cultural experiences. It's a shithole. I don't want to go.
He's funny, yeah. But this is the thing though, he's more like, look, when it comes to, there's this type of teacher, yeah, and then, I'm sorry, but this is what I get pissed off, yeah, because I try to tell people, this is the teacher you should be fucking repping, or maybe not. Do whatever you want, and his stuff these days is more airy-fairy, but his older stuff is very practical. It's deep, bro. Look at some of these titles. They're long, deep videos. These are old as fuck. 10 years, non-stop contemplation. This shit is powerful, and it goes on. But people don't want this, you know why? Because it's not entertainment. It's pretty fucking boring, but it's the truth. But what people want is shock value entertainment more. And I'm open to Andrew Tate's shit. And maybe that's not it, you know, maybe he's just marketing for his Hustlers University. See, I've got to try to not be arrogant, because I don't want to be coming off as arrogant. And this is the thing, my paradigm is, I don't want to be a dickhead. And I do rate Andrew Tate, of course. It's just, I don't think his paradigm on psychedelics is exactly epic, but let's continue.
Ayahuasca crap. What it really is. And this ayahuasca crap. What it really is people trying to find meaning in nothing because they cannot find meaning in something.
Ayahuasca, aka psychedelics, is people trying to find meaning in something where there is no meaning. Well, that's not actually really the case. Because it's not like you're still aware of the meaninglessness. If your argument is that reality is fundamentally meaningless, then the psychedelics don't contradict that. You don't take a psychedelic and then see Jesus and go, oh, Jesus and the fucking Testament or whatever the fucking stupid religion gay stuff is. You don't create like a meaning in that sense. It's still meaningless, sure. But there are reality, they bend reality, and through reality bending things, they can shake your paradigm and everything that you thought was the case. If you literally enter the 5th spatial dimension, what the fuck are you, what are you going to say to that? And you experience impossible objects and self-transforming machine elves, and these are seemingly beings that bleed out into reality forwards in a geometric infinite manifestation in real time. And you can confront these entities, and they are there once you consume ayahuasca. So, and this is what I was saying to my friend recently. We were talking about mushrooms, and this is, I find it bizarre that no one ever really follows what I say about mushrooms to the core. And this is why everyone thinks, fuck mushrooms, but the reason why they think that is because, well, they don't have to be interested in it, right? But nobody actually does the experience. Therefore, I was telling my Western mate, just a sheeple, as we are, for the most part, and I was telling him, what happens if you take 5 dried grams in silent darkness? And I just said that will happen to you, what I just said. And what I said, in short, was you'll basically astral travel through a timeless dimension, and it will not be boring. If you take 5 dry grams in silent darkness, it unfolds in front of you, and it is a unfolding flow energy experience. But it's not like other drugs. This is the thing. There's alcohol, which Andrew likes alcohol. Which is dead. Alcohol is a dead end, and I mean that literally. I don't mean that's my opinion. I mean, I mean it is fun, sure, but if you really sink into what exactly the alcohol seems to feel like, at least in my experience, because when you take psychedelics, you sink into what exactly the experience feels like at your core. You're like, how... Because if you take psychedelics and you meditate, basically, it's going to be infinite and expanding, like a flower. When you take alcohol and meditate, it's just the lack of that. It's like it goes in the opposite direction of complexity. Psychedelics unfold in consciousness and complexity. And trust me, mate, some of the things that are possible on psychedelics, you can... Not some of the things, bro. The cap on psychedelics is infinite, mate. You can... Let me tell you some experiences that you can have on DMT. Imagine, you find this thing within reality, as you find many things, but this one particular material in reality you can smoke. Just so happens to be the venom off of a toad in the Amazon, or I believe it's the Amazon. And if you get this toad venom and dry it and smoke it, you go to the center of the universe. And whether or not it is delusion or not, this is what happens. So you can say ayahuasca is a fucking load of shit and there's no spirit world. However, and you say, is people trying to create meaning where there's no meaning? It depends how you go about it, because you can just explore psychedelics for the pure consciousness exploring. You don't have to come at it with some spiritual dogma or shit like that. And they are transformative, and they definitely can. My whole YouTube channel is a manifestation of psychedelics. And I know I'm a mad cunt, and my old videos aren't like particularly I'm not super proud. But my first video, where I realised I'm a wage slave, happened when I took 4 grams of psilocybin Liberty Cap magic mushrooms. I took them, and all of a sudden, my subconscious poured forth, and this is what they do, and this is why psychedelics are very powerful, is because everything that is floating in your subconscious, you never really actively take a conscious step to actively exercise and explore your consciousness in silent darkness. But psychedelics do that. They bring the subconscious forth, and I'll give you a proof that psychedelics bring the subconscious forth. For example, when I took LSD and psilocybin at the same time, and I did test the LSD, so I knew it was legit. And this happened to me on 2 separate occasions as well. So the first one, where I combined LSD and mushrooms, is I took 2 tabs of LSD. I don't know the dose, and I took 4-5 grams of psilocybin, and I was on my meditation cushion, and it was going on for a while, and I decided, okay, now it's time to meditate. So as soon as I became present, my wooden set of drawers in front of me became the alphabet. You know a Ouija board, yeah? Right, let me do this, because I don't want you to look at my search history, because I ain't been clearing that recently. Ouija board. I don't know how to spell that shit. Ouija board. This is the best example, I think. Yeah, this is it. So, and it looked, the letters looked just as immaculate. And this is the proof of the subconscious pouring forth. And this is how you've got to really potentially take into the consideration, Andrew, and everyone else who stigmatizes psychedelics, how they could potentially be extremely powerful. And I recommend you check out Correcting the Stigma of Psychedelics Part 1 and Part 2 by actualize.org. Very powerful. Quentin Experiment, he's a very humble guy. I tried to be a lot like him, more than my emotionally charged Andrew Tate self, because I used to be more like Andrew Tate in a way, but I don't like that behavior because it's so egotistical. And I mean, it's not necessarily, it depends what you're trying to do. I mean, but I love being humble because it makes you free, because you're not trying to know anything or defend an ego, you just are. And there's ego death as well within psychedelics, which can be powerful, to lose your sense of identity. Psychedelics are powerful, mate. Okay, so yeah, I'll link these in the description. Let me just write this shit down quickly. Yeah, these videos will be linked below if you're interested. And they'll be in these playlists as well. I recommend you have a look at these playlists that I'll also have linked in the description, because I tried to connect the dots from all over the internet to bring like the highest quality shit that I've ever found, just to simply share information, because these videos are sick. I haven't watched this last one though, but you know, maybe we'll have a reaction to some of these in a bit. Okay, so why I'm a dick and why I won't change. I've never had... Jesus, he has so many more videos than I thought. Okay, anyway, sorry, I'm going off. Okay, so where's Tate gone? Did I get rid of him?
People also...
Yeah, I did. Fuck's sake. Okay, so I'm sorry for going off. It's because I've been smoking the marijuana, which Tate is also not a fan of. So the Ouija board, sorry. My set of drawers became A to B, numbers 1 to 9 to 0, whatever, out on my set of drawers in front of me like this, and they were, and what this proved to me, because I did not invoke the alphabet, it just happened in front of me, and the alphabet is programming, it's a language, therefore my subconscious manifested itself visually. Maybe not really physically per se, but I mean, as far as most people would, I hallucinated. It wasn't the Ouija board, but it was like if you had A to B cover your set of drawers somehow, and it was clearly there from top to bottom, but it was just in that overarching look. And then it happened again. I was looking out this window and out the other window on some psychedelics a few months ago, and I looked at the sky, and yeah, I remember I saw that the first word I saw was reality. Basically, I was looking at the clouds, and I know it seems like weird and cliche, but the word reality just like very very mystically come out, and it was very swirly, and the way the letters looked was so beautiful. And I looked out the front window, and I stared down at my front garden, yeah, the grass, and eventually as I stared down, I let my eyes drift. It began to morph, and there came the letters and the numbers again, and all of a sudden I'm looking at the trees covered in my subconscious mind. What the fuck? That's a bit mad. So yeah, you can say it's I'm creating meaning, like, or whatever, but there are reality-shattering experiences in there, and that's just one experience, mate. That is fuck all. That is no bad experience, bro. Trust me, it's deeper. What I was gonna say about the toad venom is when you smoke this toad venom, you go to the center of the universe. And here's just one example on a whim of something that you can experience within this realm. Is imagine you smoked it in darkness. Now all of a sudden you're in a metallic sphere room that is illuminated with white light, and you can see you're in a metal 360 sphere, and there are metal orbs going in and out of your body, and they wrap around you and go through your soul. And that's one example. Or I can be sat here and I can smoke it, and then the boundary through my visual field dissolves, and psychedelics dissolve boundaries, and you become so heavily what you observe, or something of that nature. But the hallucinations are so powerful, I can twist into this stuff and become reality itself. And I can't communicate it to you either because we don't have the words for it. But it is insanely profound stuff. And there's no time. It's a 100% reality swap. I recommend you check out Terence McKenna's talk on what is DMT like. He has many poetic descriptions of lectures where he goes into details of the nature of DMT. I highly recommend you have a look into this, Mr. Andrew. Just and maybe question your paradigm a little bit, because look, I understand you don't need to take ayahuasca or whatever you want to call it. However, with the exploration of consciousness, to find out the impossible. All right, let's resume.
And people are like, oh yeah, but you know, it's not a shithole because the real cultural experience, it's a shithole. I don't want to go. And this ayahuasca crap, what it really is people trying to find meaning in nothing because they cannot find meaning in something.
I do find meaning in it in terms of it is now my philosophy, in the same way Andrew teaches what's important to him, and that is therefore where he finds meaning in his life. Not that I think it is fundamentally means anything. But I was reflecting on this, and yes, I do technically find meaning through it because it's something that I preach in a way, and therefore I find the value in it. I find this is where the fulfillment is to be had within life. The spiritual approach. You see how Andrew just plays the same Monopoly as everybody else. He doesn't evolve the Monopoly itself. Yes, he's winning, but he's winning just like everybody else, and this is why maybe we're in this paradigm we're in. Or maybe I'm wrong. I mean, he does challenge the paradigm, which I do appreciate, but for the most part playing into the system. There are people who try to evolve the system, and there are people who play the system. And I mean, I'm not in no state to try and evolve the system because I'm literally skint and I still watch Minecraft update videos and all sorts, so what am I to say? At least this geezer's got mad net worth, so... But yeah.
If I need to test myself and learn about myself, I can enter the cage and fight the man, and I can learn everything it takes. I can learn everything I need to know about perseverance, and grit, and what I'm going to be made of, and my spirituality. I can understand myself.
Yeah.
You're too pussy to do that, aren't you? So you'd rather go down to fucking Puerto Rico, drink some brown liquid, throw up all over yourself, and then lie to me about how you saw spirits.
Watch this bit.
One of those transformative experiences people say that changes their life.
That's how you find meaning in life.
That is so fucking funny, man. I can't lie. Look, that's why my ego was getting hurt a bit earlier, because I was like, fuck me, he's right. But look, at the end of the day, you can be a psychedelic explorer. No one can tell you that you can't do that shit. Psychedelics are profound, and they have changed my life. They've completely shifted my whole paradigm fundamentally countless times, and I don't believe I would have ever arrived at like barely any of the insights I've got now if it weren't for psychedelics. This video was because of psychedelics. This video was because of psychedelics. These are videos where I just start filming because I'm on psychedelics, and the insights make me want to document it. This was just a trip report. These are just more shit, but then these live streams are quite, but then recently, like this was because of psychedelics. This, which is a completely paradigm shifting video, was because of psychedelics, and they can teach you very powerful things, especially about the present moment. Spirituality and psychedelics, Andrew, it's not a joke, trust me. It's like, when you really see the shamans and shit and what they're doing with this shit, it's different. Because the limits dissolve almost. Maybe it's psychosis. It's weird. You can't lie, it is weird. Oh. But yeah, in terms of challenging yourself, yeah, I mean, I can't lie. I struggle a lot to take action on things like that. Like, I'm getting better at it right now, since I've evolved my paradigm of, I've realised recently that you don't actually want what you want, and your initial desires are illusions, and when you get them you don't want them anyway. So with that you can take a more holistic, big picture approach, and you can be much more wise in your decisions. Therefore you can test yourself more in the methods that Andrew uses of physical, you know, real, tangible, physical. You can show other people. You don't just take some weird plant drug and trip out in the woods with some shamans with red paint all over them and weird fucking shit, with singing eco-rose naked and shit in a circle in the dark around a fire. However, if you can, look, if it's delusion or not, mate, I've had really mystical experiences, and can I convey the profundity of view of these experiences? Well, first of all, this is the maddest experience ever. Look at this thumbnail. Suicide terror trip. I highly recommend you watch this video. It's the worst trip report ever. And this gives you a good idea of what it can get like if you take a high dose of psychedelics. But this is the bad side. But in terms of the good side, like I say, my channel's a manifestation of psychedelics. What are some of the main lessons I've learned from psychedelics? Because a way that I defend psychedelics a lot is I say that I've learned so many things that I couldn't have learned otherwise. So what are those? Well, let's take a look at my channel for the most part, because maybe that can give me a bit of a map. So yeah, the first of all, I realised that I'm wasting my life. And I'm still basically in the same situation, and it's been 9 months. So maybe I should switch some of my behaviour up there. So, but we're going to get there, and I will succeed, and I know I will. But this is all just part of the process. And so that was the initial kick in the arse. I took that, and I was listening to Terence McKenna's mystical tales. It was a video by Terence McKenna called The Weirdest Tales, that's what you got to look at as well. Look at Mr. Andrew and the viewers if you want a testimonial to psychedelics. Well, first of all, I highly recommend you just explore the whole field, because there are physical health benefits. The research with depression and all sorts of mental health is off the fucking scale. There's new shit coming all the time, and it may be wise to look into investing into psychedelics, and maybe that's something you're interested in, Andrew. these things will take over. Because the truth is, there are mushrooms that grow from the earth, and when you ingest them, there are ego-dissolving, reality-shattering experiences to be had. And what you've got to understand is the thing about grounding yourself so directly in your experience, which is the surface of your senses, which is no self and non-duality, if you want to call it that, but maybe we won't get into that right now. Is that you can step out of the paradigm of thoughts, and you can have real experiences of no mind. Because, think about it. Drugs. Drugs are pretty fucking mad, right? What's the limit of drugs? If you take a crazy dose of some proper mad psychedelic. And this is what I'm telling you, is you can fuck with your system, if you want to call it that. Your body can be a vehicle for consciousness or whatever. Maybe it's, you know, at the end of the day you're taking a drug, but they dissolve illusions and boundaries, and the idea that you took a drug is arbitrary, is that the word I'm looking for? It's because it doesn't matter, because you're experiencing a 100% reality swap. So who gives a fuck? Because you literally don't have an ego anymore, and you are literally swimming through infinity, and like you literally die on psychedelics as far as you're concerned if you take enough. And I warn people a lot because I think psychedelics attack the mindset of people such as Andrew Tate, and I ain't gonna lie, they do. The very pragmatic, materialist, scientist, rationalist, this kind of front that you put on, as Alan Watts says, it's all sticks and all goo. But some people think it's all goo, other people think it's all sticks. It's not both, apparently. It's But psychedelics shatter science. They shatter the myth of science, which sounds absurd. And I don't take these things on as dogma, you've got to understand. I don't want to. I seek truth. So when I hear these things initially, I don't just take it on. It takes years, and eventually I go, you're not really wrong. And this is the thing about grounding yourself in the direct experience, is that's what psychedelics do as well, is because they bring the background forth. They can also reveal the hallucinations. You can see sacred geometry, which can be extremely profound. If you smoke salvia, you can turn into inanimate objects as far as you're concerned, and it is the real being state of being an inanimate object. You can hallucinate entire realities, as if you put on that headset from Rick and Morty. I can't remember what it's called. As if your whole life is literally a game, and they get you open-minded. And I'll tell you what psychedelics actually do, if you want to be factually actually. Let me show you. I'll show you what psychedelics really do. Let me turn this off again so you don't see my gay porn. Brain on Psilocybin. Here we go. Look at this, mate. If you want the factually actual, then here we go. This is your brain when you are sober. You see? This picture is shit. Whatever. So you got fuck all connections, yeah? Your fucking visual cortex is talking to your fucking penis, and your fucking pineal gland is talking to your fucking chromosome number 10. And there you go. Not much go on in there. Here, well, maybe that wasn't the best example, but basically your hands, your brain's communicating with your hands, and your eyes are communicating with your brain, and your thoughts are communicating with your visual field. Simple stuff. But when you take psychedelics, all of a sudden your foot is communicating with your fucking DNA in the back of your eyeball, and you can see that and hear it. the vibration of the environment is all of a sudden fucking communicating with what you just ate, and now you're fucking it like mixes your perceptions. Like, I know it's hard to describe, but people who understand. It's like you take them, yeah, and the very fabric of reality gets bare bendy and shit. So your senses can mix, so when you hear songs you can see them visually. And I'll take you through just some random psychedelic experiences, and they're all on my channel. Like I say, like I don't need to make a case for psychedelics. It's all out there. It's just it's on you to research. Here we go. Have a look at the ayahuasca retreats, mate. Like, I know you say you just throw up on yourself in the jungle or whatever, mate. Look at my reaction to the ayahuasca retreat, Temple of the Way of Light. It's also on Spotify as well, this one, which I'll leave linked in the description. But there are bare fucking testimonials, yeah. Temple of the Way of Light is a good one. So I guess in a way I'm just sort of making a case for psychedelics. Temple of the Way of Light, like, look, I'm sure that there is delusion to be had, and I've definitely had psychedelic delusion, but you can't argue with a lot of these things, because these are people's accounts of what really goes down in these places, and it's real.
That's how you find meaning in life. I find meaning in life through tests. I test myself right here in the real world. Andrew become a world champion. Andrew become a millionaire. I test myself and I succeed. This is how I learn. You? No. You ain't got the balls to do that.
Right. But what if you do both? It's not one or the other. You can do both. You can do everything you've done, and then you can have a psychedelic. And trust me, taking a psychedelic on a mountaintop, mate, meditating with no mind, shit like that, and all of a sudden the visual field is communicating with the rest of your whole being, and then your ego dissolves, and the symmetry and geometry and beauty that you are now perceiving, and the background comes forth, and your subconscious mind and the whole nature of your thoughts absolutely transform, and it's a flow, and you're taken over by the profundity, absurdity, abstractness of reality, and within that there are deep decisions and insights. Everyone knows this. You can do both, bro. I know that this is... Look, let's have a look at the comments, shall we? Let's have a look at some of the comments. Here we go. Let's be real here. Right, can you actually see? Let's be real here. Anyone who has a spirit... Fucking hell. Let's be real here. Anyone who has had a spiritual experience knows that you shed your ego and mind-made identity, and you are completely content. Yeah, that's the case. You can tune into what's real. Spirituality is very big, mate, so don't think that you understand, because I thought I understood 9 months ago, but then I really understood that I didn't really know what it was, and I don't think I even really know what it is now. And I've had over 50 mushroom trips and probably like 5 LSD trips, and I still have no fucking idea what is capable in that realm. It's infinite, mate. It took me 20 mushroom experiences, and then I had 1 LSD experience that really showed me the true potential, and that's on my channel as well. But that was just the beauty. But that's not even the most profound one. So I'll go through, let's talk about what we got a little bit. So there's that insight. This one was just very empowering. It's just a rant. Not great. This, I saw beauty that just captured my soul, and I was listening to this amazing electronic music, James Blake, Friends That Break Your Heart. And you ain't gotta like that music, but fuck you know, that shit on that acid. That's literally built for acid, that music. So yeah. And then what else do we have? So I don't think it's even been like, I've had mad experiences, but I haven't actually uploaded an awful lot, I realise now, of the psychedelics. But what's more things that the psychedelics have taught me? Because that's what I was going to say earlier. That has not been over an hour. No fucking way. Really? Should I have another joint? I might have another joint. Or maybe I should wait. More things that psychedelics taught me. It's taught me a lot about the present moment. It's confronted me a lot of my fears in the back of my mind. Twice I've had very deep experiences, very hard experiences that have taught me crazy things. Extrasensory perception. They reveal things to you about health. They do teach you things. They teach you things about your body awareness. They teach you about what your mind is capable of. They teach you about infinite potential. They show you earth, they show you meat, they show you water, they show you the things of this world. They show you impossible objects. They show you conversations of the cosmos. They show you intertwining frequencies. They show you lucid dreams. They show you astral projections. They show you time dilation. They show you ego death and ego dissolution. They show you pure insanity. They show you infinite complexity. They show you the subconscious mind. Psychedelic is actually... what is it? Psychedelic literally means to reveal the mind. Like, that's what that word actually means, or some shit. Like, that's the origin. Where does the word psychedelic come from?
According to New Scientist, the term psychedelic, from the Greek for mind manifesting, was coined by Humphrey Osmond, a British psychiatrist working in Canada in the 1950s. To fathom hell or soar angelic, just take a pinch of psychedelic, he wrote in a letter to the writer Aldous Huxley.
Mind manifesting, that's what it is. But it also means mind revealing, I think. Like, yeah, mind revealing. The word psychedelic literally means mind revealing, which is one way to describe the powerful effects of psychedelic drugs, sometimes also called hallucinogens or entheogens. They cause a profound shift in your sense of self and consciousness, but so do lots of other drugs like alcohol, cocaine, and opiates. Yeah, sure. And that's the thing, that's something that's quite interesting, is who knows, like, that's what my dad says. He's like, the same thing would happen if you took fucking heroin. But it's not the same, because these are healthy, and there's evidence of the neurogenesis. I had a physical activation that healed my body in real time. I took loads of psychedelics, I ate 2 massive kiwis, I was ill, I'd been ill for a long time. I got very hot, I started breathing a lot, I'd done some breath work as it felt natural, and then my body, in real time, healed itself and removed the illness. And it was a Kundalini awakening activation thing that was invoked by the psychedelics, which I've heard is very rare, and this is what has happened to me, and I started... Shall we go through with this, actually? It's very interesting. I've got basically a trip report on my phone of the Kundalini awakening. So maybe we'll have to go into that. Right. I almost feel like I should have fucking reviewed Andrew Tate's claims while on psychedelics, which I'm not, but I was last night. So. All right. Right. So let's have a look at some of the more. Let's have a look at some more comments, and we'll go through some of those. So let's be real here. Anyone who's had a spiritual experience knows that you shed your ego and mind-made identity, and you're completely content. That is the case. You can tune into the present moment, you can tune into your senses in all sort of different ways, and you can dissolve the ego, and it seems almost in like an egoic drive, but it really ain't. Let's continue. Andrew has a big ego and relies on it to give him mental gain, which is fine, and I agree, yes, that's fine. You have earned your ego, Andrew. Well done. But if we are going to talk about spirituality, he is not quite there yet. And I agree. He doesn't get it. And I'm sorry, Andrew. You don't get spirituality, bro. You might get other things, which is why I'm willing to listen to you for those things. But there are people all around the world living in absolute bliss who have nothing at all. So someone who used to receive brain damage for pennies may not be the guy for the conversation. Yeah, I guess. He is a funny dude, yet it would be hilarious to see him experience ego death. I mean, let's be real, his ego is terrified of ayahuasca and DMT, and making up excuses why you won't try it. You haven't got to try it, but you will experience ego death, and I don't think you'll handle that well, Andrew, because they actually attack people like you. So if you really want to transform, mate, here's my proposal. Why don't you invest 15 minutes and smoke some fucking toad venom, mate? It's just a drug. It's okay. It's toad venom. It takes you to the center of the universe. Do the research. You haven't got to. But if you won't even invest time into the practices, then you are not qualified to speak on them. Do you understand? Just like I'm not qualified to give my opinion on someone's situation that I've never been in the shoes of, in a sense. Do you get me? I think I'll do another take of this in the future, potentially. We'll go more into it when I'm tripping, maybe. But, right. The spirit world is real. Andrew Tate hasn't got to that level yet, or he may never get there. And that's okay. But you want to be careful, because I don't know who the fuck's writing that. So they might not understand it either. But you can become conscious of the spirit world, and Andrew Tate has great insight on a lot of things, but he is also a prime example of someone who has everything in life apart from a deeper meaning. I don't know. Which he would be able to find through spirituality, if he'd only cared to develop that side. That is the case. I mean, he could have a deeper meaning, I do agree. Probably. But I'm not out here criticising Andrew Tate for doing what he's going to do. But if he's going to come out here and make claims about psychedelics and shit, then I'll respond. You see him with all his stuff and his big ego, and you kind of see him having to keep blowing that up more and more. To be satisfied and to try and find meaning. Alright. I'm so shit at reading. It's the weed, man. That's what I feel like. This video is shit. I can't lie. I feel like I've done a really poor job. Maybe it's just because I smoked way too much weed. If only you could go inside Andrew, you could see what actually matters. Alright, well, look. There's more. We'll watch the rest of the video, but other than that, I'm not going to go on much longer. I think I've been going for 2 hours, because there's a timer down here that says that's nearly been 2 hours, which is a bit mad to me. I don't think it'd been that long, but not this one video, like, because this video has been going on for ages. And yeah, maybe it has been 2 hours, fuck me. But anyway, let's finish this video, because I've had enough of this. I'm sorry I didn't do the best job of making this video, but I have been on here for ages, and I got some shit I need to do. I haven't even eaten breakfast today. So let's go.
So you go down to fucking, where is it, Honduras, some shithole, and you drink some poison, and you throw up and go, I was hallucinating, I was so spiritual, I learned so much about myself, and I learned that when I throw up on myself, really, inside of my feelings, please.
I do get it, trust me, I understand how he's mad. But the profundity of the experience is still there.
Stop doing dumb shit. If you want to learn about yourself, test yourself. Right here, right now. In fact,
I agree.
I'll give you all a
Okay.
test. If you want to test, I'll give you a test. Stop being a bitch. There. Stop sending stupid emails about fucking ayahuasca and modafinil and other dumb shit. If you were me for a fucking fraction of human time, you would understand the unlimited power I possess, and you wouldn't ask me such stupid fucking questions. I don't need modafinil. I don't need it. Because I'm me.
Yeah, I just think it's fucking weak, bro. Like, I don't know, man. Man's out here drinking alcohol and smoking cigars, and he's coming out here telling you how Ayahuasca and South America is a shithole. It's a shithole. Don't want to. I don't know. This is really closed-minded, bro. I love your videos. But he should stay away from ideas or topics outside of his comprehension. In taking ayahuasca, one doesn't simply see spirits. They have the opportunity to face the aspects of themselves which they've neglected for too long. And that does happen, mate. Underneath Tate's bravado, arrogant demeanour, and materialistic persona exists a facet of his being that is not willing, or a facet of his being that he is not willing to face. And you do confront, and you don't even know it, mate. You don't even know it. And this is what the thing, you think you're on a trajectory, yeah, that you think is sound. And this is what the thing is, Andrew, listen to this, mate, because even in my own experience, I get it. I thought that I was on a trajectory that I was happy with, right? So I said to myself, should I really start taking psychedelics again? Because I had the opportunity to start taking them again. And I was like, but I'm happy with my life because I had a new job, I was getting money, and I was happy. But when I took the psychedelics, they proved to me that the path that I was on is actually not the path that my higher self wanted to be. It showed me that the path that I was on was full of bullshit, therefore altering the trajectory. So I just saved myself from going down the wrong way. Because of my awakenings, I realised what I really want to do. But look, I've made a case here. I haven't got to go in. I don't think I'm going to go on for super loads longer. But that's it. If you want to find out more, then you can find out more. I think I've made like a decent case. But that's it. Go look at the testimonials, go look at the experience. I understand there is a lot of spiritual bullshit within there, but there is a way. There is a way, he's wrong. Andrew Tate, you're fucking wrong, mate. I love Tate, but this is a goofy Tate. Psychedelics have been used by humankind for centuries for psychological healing, trauma integration, and dive deeper than the surface. This is what gets me, yeah? Andrew, I want to see you doing the best you can do, of course. I don't hate you. It's not an ego thing that I'm telling you that you're wrong. I'm just saying, if you really want to get to the higher levels of personal development, psychedelics are the way forward. That is what you need, because I do love the way that you are woke, and the things that you say are very good. However, you're missing the bigger picture. And if only you could get past your assumptions is the mother of all fuck-ups, and maybe you question your paradigm, and maybe invest a little bit in, and go, hey, maybe I don't know. Be more humble. Then maybe you'll learn something of value. Or maybe you won't. Fuck knows. Either way, that's that. So, I'm fucking off now. I think that's it. I've said enough. I don't know how long I've been on. I didn't even do what I originally set out to do when I made this video. So I was going to contemplate about the choice, in all caps, about how every decision you make is the only thing you need to take into consideration when it comes to personal development, and the rest of it is just fluffy personal development shit. But that's it. Thank you, everybody, and check out the links in the description for relevant videos and all sorts. Check out the website that I'll be updating very soon, and please help me construct something here, and together we can learn. So that's it, Andrew. I'm just proposing that your psychedelic paradigm is shit, and maybe take another look, and I'll reflect on this when I'm in a better state of consciousness, because I don't feel particularly super authentic right now. Sometimes I feel like that. It's weird. It's like who I want to be gets buried under a pile of shit. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Sometimes I feel way more like I said what I need to say. Here I feel like I said it in a weird nature. But I made my point. That's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I got a lot deeper shit coming soon. I know I do, especially because of the psychedelics. I will be... And if you want a testimonial myself of 2 videos to watch that are worth the watch, I believe, in some profound concepts that psychedelics have directly taught me, then have a look at this one, Experience versus Concept, and have a look at the No Self Awakening, because these are 2 ideas that are quite powerful if you contemplate them for a while. So I highly recommend you have a look at these. And that's it. I'll see you very soon. So thank you. And Andrew or anyone, I mean, I'm sure you won't, but I'm open to having a debate or a live conversation eventually, or with anybody who wants to challenge my paradigm. Let's do it. Let's learn. Whatever. I'm gonna go now. I got shit to do. I got life to live that I'm very excited to live, and I can't wait. I wonder what's next. Thank you all for watching. Smash the like button, smash subscribe, and check out the other social medias so that I can build a more solid presence on the internet, just in case YouTube terminates me or some shit because of whatever the fuck. Then if you can help me build, then I'd love to release all sorts of shit and diversify. What I'm going to do will be massive, and I'm not going to go into the exact nature of what that will be, but I know it will be. Because the complexity is evolving at such a rate at this point where I can see things getting incredibly profound very soon. So, that's good. Thank you all. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.